How about now? There we go. Good evening, everyone. My name is Chuck Hendrickson, Mayor Pro Tem. The Moorhead City Council welcomes public input on issues listed on the agenda or of general community interest, time and council permitting. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. If you'd like to address the council during the meeting, please fill out a form provided by the city clerk and we'll call you up during the citizens addressing the council. Please state your name and if you are a Moorhead resident. If comments are submitted to the clerk prior to the meeting via email or phone, those comments will be entered into the record. For more information on participation, please visit the council meetings page on the City of Moorhead website at moorheadminnesota.gov. We, the Moorhead City Council, collectively and with gratitude acknowledge the sacred land the City of Moorhead is built upon. We acknowledge the people who have resided here for generations and recognize that the spirit of the Dakota, Ojibwe, Métis, and all indigenous communities permeates this land. With that, it'll bring us to agenda item number 1, call to order, please, and roll call.
Ryan Nelson.
Here.
Nicole Matson.
Here.
Heather Niesmeyer.
Here.
Emily Moore.
Here.
Deb White.
Here.
Lisa Borgen. Sebastian McDougall.
Here.
Chuck Hendrickson.
Here.
Shelley Carlson.
If you are able, please rise and we'll recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Brings us to agenda item number 3, agenda amendments. Dan, is there any amendments?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem. Can we swap items 5A and 5B? We're waiting for family for the police swearing in.
Okay, yep. Switch that around. With that, I'm looking for a motion to approve the amended consent agenda.
So move, Niesmeyer. Second, Moore.
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign, and that does pass. Which brings us to recognitions and presentations. And with the amended agenda, we'll do 5B, proclamation.
Excuse me. Oh, go ahead. You guys got it.
We passed over the consent agenda. Oh, I'm sorry.
We sort of like mashed up the agenda amendments and the consent agenda at the same time. So I think that's the issue, right?
So just go for
A
consent.
vote on the consent agenda, please.
So move, Niesmeyer.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? If not, all those in favor of the consent agenda say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. And the consent agenda does pass. Which, okay, so we move to 5B now, the proclamation 2025 Welcoming Week. And I believe Councilmember McDougall will read the proclamation.
All right. Official proclamation. Whereas we envision a community where all individuals, including immigrants, refugees, and new Americans, have the opportunity to reach their full potential, actively engage with their neighbors, and contribute their unique talents. This vision is essential to the prosperity and well-being of Moorhead and enriches our shared future. Whereas the input and perspectives of both newcomers and long-standing residents are vital to shaping inclusivity and welcoming. And whereas collaborating together fosters greater understanding, particularly among those who may have concerns or limited awareness of the evolving demographics within our community. Whereas every person brings unique talents that contribute to the vibrancy of our community, and our welcoming efforts should embrace inclusivity for all groups. And whereas the best outcomes are achieved when diverse backgrounds and perspectives are meaningfully engaged, fostering an equitable and collaborative environment, whereas differences are valued and harnessed. And whereas leaders have a pivotal role in recognizing and supporting community partners who are instrumental in enhancing our collective capacity for this important work. And whereas, and whereas it's crucial to appreciate and promote multi-sector collaboration as a means to build a stronger, more inclusive community. Now therefore be it resolved that Shelley Carlson, Mayor of City of Moorhead, does hereby proclaim September 12th through the 21st, 2025, Welcoming Week in Moorhead, and encourage all residents to celebrate the spirit of inclusivity and unity and to work together to build a community where every individual has the opportunity to contribute to their best.
Thank you, Councilmember McDougall. Did you want to go back to 5A or should we go to 5C?
Yes, 5A, please.
5A?
Yes.
Okay, agenda number 5A, police swearing in and badge pinning, and I believe Chief Helmick has this.
Evening, council members. Sorry for the slight delay on this, but we're overcoming and adapting here. So it's my honor again to stand before you tonight as we welcome 5 new officers to the ranks of the Moorhead Police Department. Each of these individuals has demonstrated the integrity, commitment, and courage that our profession demands and that our community deserves. Their decision to serve is not just a career choice, it's a calling. And tonight, as they take their oath, they join a proud tradition of public service rooted in trust, accountability, and a deep responsibility to protect and serve. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming our newest officers as they begin this important journey. Again, we have 5 officers, and I'll invite them in one at a time. As they come in, their friend or family member will come up and pin their badge on. We'll have them step aside, and once they're all done with that, we'll have them come forward. We'll have Councilmember Hendrickson come up and swear them in. So first, we have Officer Emmeline Bozovsky. You have your family member coming up. Officer Benyad Brifke. Officer Aaron Brewer. Officer Michael Toll. And Officer Razwan Mohammed.
First of all, Roswan, Michael, Emmeline, Benhad, and Aaron, thank you. This is a great day. I have a brother in law enforcement, and he talks about his when he was took the oath. So, and I appreciate everything you guys do to keep the city safe. We have to have a safe city. So, thank you very much. With that, please raise your right hand. Do you have cards? I need mine, believe me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and comply with the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution and laws of the state of Minnesota, the charter, laws, and ordinances of the city of Moorhead, the policies and procedures of the Moorhead Police Department, and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties as a police officer to the best of my ability. I further pledge that on my honor, I will never betray my badge, my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. I will always uphold my community and the agency I serve. Congratulations. What was it, 5 last week and or a couple of weeks ago and 5 this week, so we're doing well. It's good to hear. That'll bring us to agenda item number 6A, approval of the minutes. You know, if there's no changes or anything, if there's changes, but if not,
Need 5C first.
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I'm sorry. 5C, presentation to Clay County Housing and Redevelopment Authority, and I think that's Dara. Sorry about that, Dara. I kind of
That's
skipped.
okay. And good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. My name is Dawn Bacon. I'm the Deputy Director with Clay County Housing and Redevelopment Authority. I also serve as the Executive Director for Moorhead Public Housing Agency. And joining me this evening also is Dara Lee, the Executive Director with Clay County HRA. The HRA serves approximately 1,600 people. The majority are children, people with disabilities, and seniors, and really those most at risk of not having a place to call home. We're here today to request the consent of the council to a $300,000 special benefit HRA tax levy for 2026 that was adopted by the HRA Board of Commissioners. The Clay County Commission consented to this on September 2nd, and our next stop after this meeting is to go to the Barnesville City Council to ask for their consent as well. The proposed levy for 2026 is the same as this previous year, so we're not requesting an increase, but holding at the same amount as last year. And this local funding makes it possible for us to do a lot of really important work at the HRA. It helps us work towards ending child homelessness. An example this past year as we partnered with Churches United for the Homeless and Clay County Social Services to begin providing support services at Bright Sky and Silver Linings Apartments. We were already providing rental assistance to families with children at Bright Sky, and so when the need arose to broaden that partnership, we were able to respond very quickly. The local funding also supports us at preserving our aging affordable housing stock. In the last year, we've successfully competed for $2.8 million in state dollars to fund renovations to Riverview Heights High-Rise and Sharpview Apartments. This was really only possible through the collaboration with Moorhead Public Housing and the Clay County HRA, as well as the support from the city of Moorhead that approved SAHA, or statewide affordable housing aid dollars, to the PHA to support that very competitive application. And our local funding has gone a long way for us in leveraging outside resources for a variety of affordable housing programs. So we believe that the investment this last year of $300,000 will bring in about $8.5 million in new funding to our community. So that's about a $25 return on every dollar invested at the local level. So I wanted to keep my comments really brief, but just to provide that quick overview of our request and the work of the HRA. We're of course available for any questions or comments that you might have.
Any questions? Councilmember White.
Not really a question as much as I wanted to say, along the same lines of what I said last time you were here, that I wholeheartedly support this, and I actually think you should be doing more of it. And so, as you know all too well, we have a housing crisis. We have the highest number of unhoused, unsheltered folks in our community that we've seen, I think, throughout the city's history, the region's history. We need to use every tool that we have in our toolbox. And what you're asking for, just to, to point out, first of all, it's such a small amount. It's 0.03% tax on taxable market value. That's minuscule. It's not even up to the highest that you could go. And as you noted, you've been very judicious in using this. So we're at one of the lowest levels in the state for the number of times this is used. And the return on investment is astounding. So for every dollar taxed, you are able to turn that around and get $25. And so to me, it's
Excuse me, council member, I just want to interject. We will not promise to always do that return on investment.
Okay, well, I appreciate just how successful you have been in leveraging this in order to get other dollars. So again, I just think it's so important, and I would like to see you doing more of it.
Thank you.
Councilmember Niesmeyer.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I want to provide thanks and accolades. I think it is very difficult work. The Moorhead Public Housing Group, as well as Clay County, house the most difficult to house. And I don't think that is often a conversation. I also agree with Councilmember White in that any way we can do more to supply more housing, but also help individuals at risk or marginalized by the systems that we have in place. I think using all the tools that we have accessible is very important. And so I want to thank you for being here tonight and for all of the work that you do. 1 to 25 return is outstanding. I was even impressed by last year's 1 to 13 or 1 to 16, which was, again, I don't know lines of work or business that have that sort of not only return, but to think of the ripple effects throughout our community is absolutely outstanding. Hearing ways that you have been able to increase your impact. You mentioned children and families being impacted because the ask was there and you were able to step up and do. I think that is often work that goes unnoticed and unsaid and unheard just by virtue of folks who are being serviced. And it's not a really great conversation to have, but it's an absolutely necessary conversation in our community. So I support this as well as I support going for more next year. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If we need to, let's do it. Let's support more individuals and families who would not have housing if we did not do this for them. Thank you.
You, Councilmember Niesmeyer. Anybody else with questions? If not, we're gonna, since they've got to go to a different city, we're gonna skip down to 18A, resolution to approve consent to the Clay County Housing and Redevelopment Authority for the 2026 special benefit tax.
Move to approve Niesemeyer.
White seconds.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. And that does pass. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming. Okay, now we'll get to 6. Approval of the minutes, 6A. Looking for approval of the minutes for August 25th, 2025.
So moved, Nelson.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. And the minutes for August 25th have passed. That'll bring us down to citizens addressing the council. And we did get a few emails in, and the first one is Jamal. Jamal, you will have 3 minutes to speak. Green is when you're speaking. Yellow, is it a 30-second warning? And then red will stop. So go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Jamal Abigaz, and I'm here today to ask some questions about your renting licensing ordinance and the enforcement of what a habitable dwelling is in the city of Moorhead. I'm unable to determine who in the city or the county I should call about a mold problem in the building that I live in, which is in South Moorhead. One of my neighbors today just had the fire marshal inspecting, and the report included the words of "the walls are squishy." Now, I was told by the fire marshal that the fire department is not able to inspect for mold. And I asked, okay, is that the building inspector's job? And I was told no. Specifically with regard to mold, I was advised that there's not a specific enforcement statute that allows them to test for mold. Apparently that wasn't always the case. Nevertheless, that's what I was told today. We've had 2 floods in the building, right? And only one of them was actually addressed by our landlords. I'm currently in a rent escrow action with those landlords, Skyline Property Management. And when I presented a picture of what I'm pretty sure is some mold, that wasn't allowed because there's no foundation, right? There's no certified expertise, a person with certified expertise saying that this is in fact mold. Now, if the city doesn't do it, because the fire department is supposed to inspect buildings to make sure they're habitable, right? The building inspector doesn't do it. I went, let's take a look at the county, right? So I went to the county public health department. Well, they linked to the Minnesota Department of Health, who has a big page on their website explaining the reasons why you shouldn't actually spend the money to inspect for mold. And among them, who to assign blame to, right? The position of the State Department of Health is just clean it up. Now, that's all well and good, except for the fact that it's your money, your time, and your health. And this landlord has already demonstrated that they won't repair things until they're taken to court. So my question for the city councilors today is, does the rental licensing regime ensure any level of habitability? If not, why not? And 2, who in the city is supposed to check for mold? Who would he contact?
Councilmember City Manager Molly, could we put him in touch with somebody who does handle those
Well,
issues?
and it sounds like Jamal was in touch with the fire marshal today and rental property inspectors, is that correct?
He went to go do the rental property inspection and found that the building essentially is not watertight in that particular unit, which we already knew. I'm a member of the Four Seasons Association of Tenants, who are organized at that building and have organized to try to get repairs made. So where do we go?
Yeah. So, you know, our rental housing program is based on housing quality standards, which is a national standard and all of that. There's a fair question about mold. I think what we should do is talk with Community Development Director Christy Lashevsky, who oversees that function, and try to figure out the question, where do we go?
Okay.
I don't believe, I'll be honest, I mean, I don't have the information right in front of me, but I don't believe mold is addressed in the HQS list of standards. I mean, it is a minimum housing standard. A lot of times it deals with broken glass and handrails and different things like that. So as far as the question, the public health question, we'll have to find more information and get back to Jamal.
Thank you. I guess
And we usually don't do a back and forth with the city council, but
well, I don't think the question was specifically a matter of public health, so I don't feel like the question was necessarily answered, although that information is helpful, and I'll look forward to doing that. The instance of mold in a building creates a cause of action. Somebody can go to court, right, and decide that, hey, I want to take my landlord to court, file a rent escrow action, et cetera. I'm asking as a matter of enforcement. Is that anybody in the city's job to make sure that mold doesn't exist in the rental units that the city is licensing and giving some measurement of, or making a claim as to some measurement of the habitability thereof?
and we will look into that, and we will get back to you.
Okay.
And Christy Lashevsky, you said, Dan, will
Mhm.
help them out with
Yeah,
that,
well,
Okay.
yeah.
and we will address that, so.
I look forward to an answer. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Have another person who wishes to address the council. It's Jeremy. If you could state your name and your address.
My name is Jeremy LaFramboise.
And
I'm-
are you
I'm a
Moorhead
Moorhead
resident? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so, council members, you begin every meeting with a land acknowledgement. You say you honor indigenous peoples as the first stewards of this land, but when you refuse to back those words with action, that acknowledgement becomes an insult. It is not respect, it is performance, and it is deeply offensive to those of us who've lived with the consequences of your inaction. My brother Joe LaFramboise was 17 years old, native unarmed, shot dead in Moorhead. The shooter walked away. Moorhead police buried evidence. Prosecutors looked the other way, and years later, his death was turned into a classroom lesson without truth, without compassion, without consent or dignity. This is what happens when natives' lives are treated as expendable. This is what your words cover up. When you repeat an acknowledgement every week but refuse to address misconduct, you prove its emptiness. You claim honor while you hide behind silence. You claim honor while you claim moral leadership while you refuse accountability. This is hypocrisy, this is complicity, and it adds insult to injury for Native families who are still grieving and still fighting for justice. I need you to understand that every time you recite the acknowledgement without action, you are not honoring us, you are mocking us. It is a shield for cowardice. It is a script you hide behind. It does more harm than good because it makes you feel virtuous while nothing changes for the people who you claim to recognize. And when you say you have no jurisdiction over this matter, that is not true. You hold power over budgets, appointments, and the police chief. You swear on officers. You authorize the funds. You've empowered the very officials who failed my brother. Pretending you have no authority is either ignorance, incompetence, or a deliberate lie. So I implore you to, if you're not going to be prepared to act, then you stop using the land acknowledgement in these meetings. Stop insulting us by speaking our names while refusing to deliver justice. Tear it out of your agenda, because until you pair it with real action, or real actions or accountability, every word of that statement is a reminder of your failure.
Thank you. With that, it brings us to agenda item number 9, in public hearing. And our first one, our public hearing is public hearing to consider the 2025 Border and City Enterprise Zone Program. I get a motion to open the public hearing, please.
So moved, Nelson.
Second, Niesemeyer.
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Mr. Lapointe.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. Public hearing tonight is an annual action on our border city enterprise zone, and specifically related to the workers' compensation program that is established and overrun by our economic development program administrator, Amy Thorpe. Just as a couple housekeeping items, so the border city enterprise zone is unique to our area of Minnesota. There's 5 communities that receive annual appropriations. That includes East Grand Forks, Dilworth, Moorhead, Breckenridge, and Ortonville. Each local jurisdiction has their own kind of way of handling these appropriations. And we, at this point in time, utilize these funds for workers' compensation disparities between the 2 states. Our annual appropriation became permanent in 2019 due to large part in some advocacy work by Lisa Bodie, and obviously great support from our local legislators here as well. This year, we are looking to have a few different changes thanks to some great discussion that we had at our EDA, and I'd look to Councilmember Moore or White to share some insights there. But per our review, we had, in 2024, we had 88 businesses complete the application. That represented about 2,100 full-time employees. And that was a total appropriation of about $350,000 of credits paid to businesses. We have been looking at how to continue to promote and get more businesses to apply for this program. This is a yearly application that needs to come through. And looking at the appropriation of about $525,000, we are making some adjustments, seeking for an adjustment to our program limits here this year. Per the discussion of the EDA, we are looking to increase our credit level amount from 25% to 30% this year, with an increase of our program cap of $30,000 to $40,000 per business for the program funding of 2025. If approved here today, the work is truly underway with Amy Thorpe and preparing marketing information, including the inclusion of putting inside of our City Insight website, online application portal, business list, flyer, and then multiple engagements that we try to get the word out to as many businesses as possible. So with that being said, in your packet here, you can actually see what the previous contribution was. So at that 25% credit level with a $30,000 cap, that was about $350,000. If we had that same 88 businesses apply with the 30% credit level increase and the $40,000 cap, that would be about $428,000, again, of the $525 that we'll see next year. So still gives us room for hopefully more businesses to apply, but doesn't put us in a stress point from a budget standpoint either. So with that, I'd look to maybe Councilmember Moore or White to share any insight from the unanimous recommendation from EDA here earlier today, and seek any questions you may have as well.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Derek. Yes, it's just a couple of things to mention in our conversations. One that precipitated it is that, we will, in the beginning of the year, paid family medical leave will come online, and we do know that some businesses have expressed concern about the cost, and this gives us another tool to leverage as we're talking to businesses, that we would say, well, we also have this other, we're adding to this as a way to support local businesses. I know that we were talking about the sustainability of it, of making sure that we're not creating a scenario where we're spending down too much of it, because as Derek noted, we want to grow the program and attract more businesses and use it as a tool for attracting and retaining our businesses. And this amount really doesn't, it still leaves a lot of leeway. Like, for instance, for this year, we'll still have about $100,000 left over. And so there's room to grow with this, but also it gives us something that, that when they are out there speaking to businesses, that it really could be another thing that will help keep people in Moorhead and bring new businesses into Moorhead. So I support it.
Is there anyone, before we close the public hearing, is there anyone here in the audience that would like to speak on the public hearing? Is there anyone here in the audience that would like to speak on the public hearing? If not, I'm looking for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved, Nelson.
Niesmeyer?
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, any questions for Derek from the rest of the council members? If not, I'm looking to get a motion on the item.
White moves to approve.
Second, Nelson.
Your guess, Christina. So we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? If not, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. And that item does pass.
I'll just say I just want to say a thank you to our legislators too. This is a critical piece of legislation for us to be able to work with our businesses. It's a small tool. Some of our businesses only receive about $500 out of this too, but it goes a long ways in trying to bridge some gaps here on the border as well. So we're very grateful for the legislation and making sure that we have this for the border communities.
It's a helping hand. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and Derek, I think you've got the next one, 11A, resolution to approve an option agreement for the DG Fuels for city-owned real property described as all or portion of 2900 50th Street South.
Yes, thank you. And I'll be brief on this, but for those that have probably been following the news on this over the last year, back in 2024, we received word from DG Fuels and Chairman Michael Darcy that they were prioritizing Moorhead as a potential site for a future sustainable aviation fuel project. This is a large project with lots of considerations from the state of Minnesota, the federal government, as well as infrastructure that is needed for this type of project as well. As discussions have continued over the last year, and Mr. Darcy and DG Fuels prepare their federal application for the Department of Energy and some of the tax credits that are available to them. One piece of that next step for the Department of Energy is site control. In discussions with Mr. Darcy, an option agreement was one form of having that site control for them to continue that application process. This again is a substantial project with lots of time and consideration that needs to still go through due diligence. If your process today of the 554 acres that is immediately west of the Moorhead Airport, we will alert DG Fuels that will continue their application process, and we continue to have extensive due diligence with our local Moorhead Public Service, Missouri River Energy, the state of Minnesota, Greater MSP, and the SAF Hub, and many others over the next 12 months. So we feel that this is low risk to the city of Moorhead. We feel that this is a great first step in really kind of securing some time and due diligence needed to make sure that this project can move forward in a real detailed way. So with that, we'd be seeking action from the council to consider entering into this option agreement with DG Fuels.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Lapointe?
To approve, Niesmeyer?
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. One last, any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. And that item does pass. Thank you, Mr. Lapointe. Thanks
Thank
for
you
being
all.
here.
Thank you.
And that is progress, right?
That's progress.
Okay. And that will bring us to mayor and council reports, agenda item number 19. Does anyone have reports? Councilmember Niesmeyer.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I want to extend my thanks for all of the participants, organizers, and attendees at our Greater Moorhead Days Parade last Friday. It was outstanding. The inclusive Moorhead social afterwards at M State, I have never seen so many performers and community members there. There were so many folks. We ran out of food. We ran out of ice cream. It was a good problem to have. So look for a bigger and better social next year is what I'm thinking. We'll start planning it probably tomorrow. I also want to share my thanks for all of those who attended the fly-in and drive-in this last Saturday. I gifted all of my fellow council members a 30-year memorial sticker for Florence Klingensmith Field. We had a wonderful ribbon cutting. Thank you, Councilmember Hendrickson, for being there. It was absolutely outstanding. Again, ran out of food. Like, we ran out of pancakes before 10 o'clock in the morning, which was really okay because the volunteers were able to magic up some more pancakes and have enough to keep the line going for longer hours than they had planned. It was just an absolutely outstanding event, beautiful fall weather, and lots of cars and helicopters and planes and wonderful things. So the feel that I got from community members was that it was absolutely outstanding and we'd like to do it again. We haven't had one for a couple of years. And so as a member of the airport committee, I would like to extend feedback for that event. Please feel free to email me, and at our next quarterly airport meeting, I will share that feedback and hopefully put the impression upon folks that we would like to do it again for the 31st anniversary of our Florence Klingensmith Field. I have additional updates from our Clay County Solid Waste Advisory Committee meeting, which was on Thursday, August 28th. There has been lots of discussion about the Resource Recovery Center, and we continue that discussion at that meeting. We also were made aware of wet trash being an issue in our community, and so Clay County Solid Waste has put out some really great infographics of reminders for people to close your trash. This goes for apartment buildings, individual residents. Keep the trash closed. We've had a very wet year this year. I mean, we've talked a lot about mosquitoes, but now we can talk about wet trash. And wet trash isn't very good for anybody. And so look for some of those reminders and share that information with your neighborhood to really help keep our trash in fine, dry conditions. That would be appreciated. Also look forward. I know it's not quite fall yet, but Take Back Jack is a program that Clay County is choosing to continue this year. And so look for that the first week of November as an opportunity to take your fall and Halloween type decorations that are organic in nature and dispose of them throughout a variety of sites throughout Clay County. So we have a good way to reuse all of that organic waste.
Thank you, Councilmember. And the fly-in was fun, and my son saw a couple Ferraris there. He's only in 7th grade, but he asked if I'd buy him one, and I said, well, not in this lifetime, but you know. But they're beautiful cars. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I just wanted to give a report from our park board meeting on August 28th. Special recognition to Ronan John, who is an Eagle Scout, and he did a presentation on his project. It was so cool. He put together a life-size chess set at Davie Memorial Park. I encourage everybody to go and check it out. He showed just so much, I don't know, he was just a very impressive young man, just showing the vision, project planning, flexibility, fundraising, and I truly feel as though he's a rising star in our community. So thank you to him for his great work in our community. And then I wanted to follow that with our Economic Development Authority meeting today that we had, and thank David Hare and James Whirlwind Soldier from the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development for their great presentation and our discussion with them, where we discussed job creation funds and investment funds and just all the different opportunities out there for Moorhead businesses to be supported and thrive within our state. So thank you to them.
Thank you, Councilmember Moore. Councilmember Nelson.
Thank you, Mayor. Back at end of August 26th, Red River Regional Dispatch Authority Board had a monthly meeting, and everything is on track there. As you know, we're with the new facility. It's scheduled to be completed about mid-October, so just less than a couple months away. They're putting the final touches on the facility, so just a lot of great work by all the staff with all the entities, and obviously the board, but really the staff behind it to also get it to that point. I mean, you think about this, between the different entities and the different policies and procedures and funding methods and all the stuff behind the scenes for all those entities to come together for finished product. It's going to be great to see. So that's awesome. That's just to support our public safety professionals. So Other than that, they continue to run just about at full staff there, so things are going well. And then tonight, we swore in 5 new officers. Sorry. Give me a second. I want to congratulate all of them. I want them to be safe. I'm going to continue to pray for their safety every single day. The last time we did that here at council, a few hours later, our law enforcement in the area were under fire, literally. So I'll be thinking of everybody. So thank you to the brave men and women that are taking the oath here tonight. That's not an easy thing to do. So thank you to the officer in the back of the room, the entire team. Chief Helmick, who's leading a great department. So just time to sit back and pause with all the business and go. Those folks were taking fire after we swore them in a few hours later. So yeah, it's a hell of a job they're doing. So thank you. We'll keep you in our thoughts and prayers. We support you, and stay strong. Thank you. That's all I have for my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Nelson. Anyone? Councilmember White.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I wanted to give you an update on MapBus, and there's some things just to keep this on your radar. You'll see some things within the, I think maybe at one of our next meetings. It's been a difficult couple of meetings as we are working towards putting together the budget for next year. As you probably are aware, the city of Fargo is having some very difficult financial challenges, and not MapBus related. But as a result of that, they had initially proposed approximately $2 million cut in their local share, which would be about a 40% reduction in their share for MapBus, and also numerous cuts to routes and services. As a result, that would mean that Moorhead ends up covering a much higher, Moorhead and Dilworth would cover a higher percentage of the cost with a diminished services. And so we've been in some really tense negotiations, and I want to really give credit to our staff, particularly in our finance office, for the work that they've been doing, trying to work out some of these. But this will coming to us. We do not get to approve the Fargo budget, obviously, but we will be working on approving the Moorhead budget at some point. We have a special meeting this week for MapBus to discuss this and look at some of the proposed route changes and budget proposals, and then we will have another meeting the following week, which would be our regular meeting. But it has been really challenging, and really, we're fortunate that we live at a place where we can partner with other cities in the area. And in many cases, it works extremely well. And this is one case where it's particularly challenging. And so going forward, we have to really think about that in terms of what this means for our partnership. And so lots of discussion, but I wanted to make sure that you're watching that closely, because some of this will be coming forward. And as you're hearing from folks, even if currently all of the proposed service changes are on Fargo's side, but that impacts our Moorhead residents who are trying to get to jobs and to school and to other important places on that side of the river. But also that shift means a substantial increase in the share that Moorhead would be paying because of the funding formula. So lots of important information. So again, I know there'll be more coming, and I want to make sure that the council members are watching that. Thank you.
Councilmember Niesmeyer.
I'm sorry, I forgot two things. Councilmember White's comments about some of our metropolitan collaborative efforts reminded me that on Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. at MetroCog, which is kitty corner from the city of Fargo, we're having a Cass Clay Food Commission meeting, and the topic, or one of the topics that we're going to discuss is federal and state funding changes for our food systems, for SNAP Ed, as well as a variety of other things. Supports that go for our food banks, our farmers, a variety of things have recently taken a number of hits and challenges, and that meeting from 10:30 to noon at MetroCog this Wednesday, I encourage people, you can tune in. It's a web public meeting that's accessible via web, or join us in the boardroom at MetroCog to share in the discussion about changes both federally and at the state level, and how they will potentially impact our community, and what have some ideas about what our community can do about changes. The second thing I forgot is the longest table. That shindig is coming next week, Thursday, September 18th. The meal starts at 6 p.m., but you can check in and register as early as 5:30. I encourage you to bring your neighbors, your elders, your youngsters. Everybody is welcome. You can get tickets on Eventbrite. And it is a really great conversation time for everybody who doesn't know one another, to get to know people in our community, share a meal. And there are specialty meals available depending on your dietary restrictions. And we hope to have a really outstanding attendance. It is being held at Trinity in their newly renovated space. So even if you don't have time to get a ticket, we'll still be there, and we'll still have enough food for you. But please get a ticket so we know how many kiddos are coming, and we can have the appropriate amount of sack lunches for kids, so they can roam around and have lots of fun, while the adults do lots of talking about food systems and families in our community.
Can you send that to Trinity?
Yes,
Lutheran?
it is at Trinity. Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other reports? If not, just have a couple things, and I'll lighten up. And I know you guys had some tough news to bring, but on Wednesday, September 3rd, Councilmember McDougall and I attended the American Red Cross Battle of the Cities presentation and Fargo Battle of the Badges. And it was just a friendly competition between Moorhead and Fargo. And I was going to let the mayor announce this, but we won. So that's all. Councilmember McDougall, if you want, did you want to add anything to that, or just?
Did a great job.
I like beating Fargo. So.
Same.
Yeah. Nothing against Fargo, but it's nice to win. Second thing, last Wednesday and Thursday, we had Red River Base Commission, and on Wednesday I didn't personally, I had meetings all day that day, but we toured, they toured the FM diversion projects, and I guess they're really impressed, so, and that's striving forward. And then we had a regular meeting on Thursday, and one interesting thing about that is there's a weather outlook for this winter, so all I can say is I hope we have warm coats, because it's going to get cold, so. With that, City Manager Molly, any?
Yes, thank you. I don't have an update other than to say, so that Battle of the Badges, the blood drive, you went to the Fargo City Commission room?
Yep.
Okay, and then they were doing the presentation, and then they awarded it to Moorhead
Yeah,
in front of all the Fargo City Commissioners?
absolutely. And I turned around and smiled at him,
Okay.
just because we won. I was happy.
And then I just want to say thank you too to everyone that's been participating in the Greater Moorhead Days events. I mean, they go on every day, and they've been a lot of fun. Attendance has been really great, and so it's really the weather now. It seems to be turning out this week as well. So I just want to encourage folks to keep coming out. I believe this morning was the medallions. Those things get found in. It's amazing.
They
how
were
quickly.
found in like 4 hours.
Right.
That is amazing and kind of a bummer. I like just seeing like little clues post and people like, oh, it's not here, it's not here. I'm sad it ended so quickly, because then the engagement is down. But
Well, and
next
then
year,
I will say that the person that hid them was James. I won't say his last name, but he was going to hide them in a very Harry Potter-like fashion, and so. But they were still found by noon. Tomorrow is the farmers market, and then Kids Fest on Wednesday at Blue Stem, and things continue. The Red River Run on Saturday. So, lots of fun happening these days.
Thanks, Dan. I don't believe we have an executive session, and I don't think we have any new business. So with that, it's agenda item number 23, and we're adjourned. Good night, Moorhead.